Alright, hello, what's up? It's Gokuma. Welcome to the channel, and tonight I guess we'll play a little bit of Tokon. Probably not too much, because I am signing on really late. Um and yeah, I had a really busy day today, and I realized originally I wasn't gonna stream, but I realized that if I didn't stream today, I'm not gonna stream until like next week. Because tomorrow I'll be busy. I have a summer festival tomorrow, and then Friday I'm gonna be busy uh, preparing for my parents' arrival, and yeah, and then I'm gonna be dealing with that for almost a week, and then I'm gonna have another fucking busy week. So yeah, it's just fuck my life. So, anyways, yeah. So I'll probably play a little bit of Marvel Tokon. I don't know if I'll beat a story or not. We'll see. So we'll get started, pretty soon. I don't want to wait too long to play, but there was something like really dumb and funny that I read when I was on the internet on Twitter, and so it was a discussion that had to do with like uh X-Men and Avengers media, particularly like in the realm of gaming. Let me see. Okay. So this dude, I'm going to read his post, but like it it was a whole Steiner math thing. If you don't know what I mean by Steiner math, years ago, like probably decades ago, there was, I think actually, yeah, it might have been decades ago at this point, or almost. But there's a wrestler, Scott Steiner, who cut a promo because I think he was like in a triple threat match or something like that, and he was calculating the odds of his chances, and it just you have to watch it. It's kind of he just like it's just ridiculous. It'd just be like, oh, you have three people, so you think it's like, like 33, like 33 and a third chance, but then you add me to the equation, and it's like whatever chance, and then it just goes on from that. It's like it's pretty ridiculous, but that's what I felt when I fucking read this shit. Like I felt like this was like Steiner math, but it didn't make sense. um and yeah, it was just okay. So so this got started because someone mentioned how Avengers didn't have their own console games before the MCU, which it is not true. There kind of were Avengers games before the MCU, just not much at all. And I know this for a fact because I did kind of start an Avengers run like years ago, but I just have not taken the time to continue it, unfortunately. Um, but but even like before and after the MCU, like there hasn't been much in the way of like Avengers representation as far as their own game goes. So we'll talk about more about that in a moment, but let me read this fucking numbskull's post. So he goes, members of the Avengers. So he has to say members, right? He has to specify like the individuals. Because let's be fair, like to understand this, Avengers were made up of a group of people who already had their own individual comics. Like all the initial founding members, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man, and Wasp, uh, they all had their own individual comics already before they went and they came to together. So with that being said, he goes, members of the Avengers had games starting in 1982. Uh, so if you know about superheroes and gaming and stuff, you would know that there is there is no Avenger that has had a game in 1982. Um, so and he doesn't specify who he's talking about either. The person in question is Spider-Man. And when I called him out on his bullshit, he was like, "Well, Spider-Man has been a member of the Avengers for 20 years." And it's like, okay, he started being a member of the Avengers like 20 years ago, but it's been very on and off, as part of the active roster. Especially like over the last decade. He hasn't really been much of a representative of the Avengers. Um, but I digress. Um, in 1982, Spider-Man was for sure not a fucking Avenger. Spider-Man would not be an Avenger until about mid 2000s with the new Avengers. So at this time for sure he was not an Avenger. So this motherfucker is retroactively making Spider-Man an Avenger and trying to give him credit as an Avenger, and that Avengers games have been coming out since 1982, and it's like, no, you dumb bitch, that's not how this fucking works at all. The Spider-Man game that came out was originally for the Atari 2600, and when the developers made that game, it wasn't at a time where Spider-Man was an Avenger. He wasn't associated with the Avengers in any way. They got Spider-Man because he's fucking Spider-Man, and they wanted to make a Spider-Man game. And that's it. See, he goes on to mention the Avengers already had 7 titles out before X-Men had their first. Okay, so I need to look up for sure when the first X-Men game came out, but I believe it was somewhere towards the late 80s. I don't think it was the Konami arcade game yet, because the Konami arcade game came out in 1989. I think there was one that came out prior to that, which was made by LJN for the NES, which sucked. It was a fucking horrible game. It was an awful awful game. Um, but there was still an X-Men game by that time. I want to say like maybe 1987 or something. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Hold up. All right, X-Men NES. Oh, no, okay. It came out in 1989. Came out in 1989. So same, cuz did the X-Men arcade came out I'm pretty positive it came out 89. Or maybe 1990. Somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. So yeah, so it came out in 1989. Horrible game, by the way. Like, just a shit awful game. But yeah, so X-Men came out 1989, and this motherfucker's like, "Oh, Avengers has had 7 games." All right, first off, up until now in the year of our Lord 2026, Avengers as a whole has barely had 7 games. And I should know because again, I was in the middle of doing an Avengers run. And if I go on my Twitch page really quick, because I have all the games written down in my page since I still happen to be working on them. Okay. X-Men, where are you? I mean, not X-Men, Avengers. Okay. So we have now these are games that are literally titled Avengers on them. So we got Captain America and the Avengers on the NES, Captain America Avengers Arcade, and I made the distinction between the NES game and the arcade game because they are two different games. And you might be like, well, why didn't you add the SNES or Sega Genesis version? And it's because like those two games are trying their best to be like the exactly like the arcade version of the game, even though they're not very good. But they're trying. They're trying very hard. The NES version of the game is a completely different type of game. You just play as Captain America and Hawkeye. Actually, like you play as Captain America and Hawkeye in the game, and the game is more of like a platformer, and it's structured like very differently than the arcade game. So I treat both those games as like two separate games. So anyways, yeah, so we have Captain America and the Avengers for NES, and then for the arcade, Avengers Galactic Storm for the arcade. That came out like in the mid 90s, man. If I'm not mistaken, that was maybe mid 90s, early to mid 90s. So if the first X-Men game came out in 1989, we have to look up. Well, for sure, there were not 7 Avengers games. I mentioned 2, and I know Captain America and the Avengers for the NES and the arcade. I believe those came out like late 80s, early 90s, something like that. So if the first X-Men game came out in 89, I'm pretty sure that was the first X-Men game, the one on the NES. I'm pretty positive. I don't think there was anything else. Maybe. But no, I'm pretty sure there wasn't anything else. But for sure there were no like fucking 7 there weren't 7 fucking Avengers games. There was just the one. Um let's go over the rest of the games real quick. So we got Avengers Galactic Storm, and then I got up to Avengers Battle for Earth for the Wii U, but I never got around to playing it. Then we got Avengers Ultimate Heroes on the 3DS, Lego Avengers, and then the Avengers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7 games. This motherfucker is like, oh, there's were 7 Avengers games before the first X-Men game. And it's like, no, bitch. There's exactly 7 Avengers games that have come out between the late 80s, early 90s to now. Like up to a few years ago. And that last Avengers game is like fucking bombed. Okay? Like it fucking bombed. Which is unfortunate. But it did. Yeah. So yeah, so for sure his statements have like we're this is just the first 2 sentences, and motherfucker is already like way off, way fucking off. So let me go back to all right. Yeah, so basically what this guy is doing is he went back and he's giving credit to other characters for like he's giving Avengers the credit for when these individual characters have games, as if these characters don't have their own shit going on when they're not doing Avengers shit. And for some of these games, maybe there'll be Avengers references, but they have shit to do with the Avengers. Like it's more about their shit. But even so, there was still barely over the years, like there's still barely been games that have to do with the individual Avengers. You know, we haven't had unfortunately we have not had many Captain America games. We have not had many Iron Man games. We've had a few Hulk games. Not a lot. We've had a few. Oh, hold on. I need to charge my phone. All right, I'm back. But anyways, yeah. So he's trying to give Avengers credit for Spider-Man, especially a Spider-Man game or any Spider-Man games, which I think there's been a few that have come out in the 80s. So he's retroactively trying to give Spider-Man credit or the Avengers credit for Spider-Man games that have come out in the 80s, despite the fact that at this time Spider-Man has had no association to the Avengers at all. And other games that have come out at this time have been like there was a Hulk game that came out around that time. There was a Captain America game, there was a Spider-Man and Captain America game, but none of these games have had anything to do with the Avengers. And it's not like when Captain America and Spider-Man were teaming up that this was like an Avengers team up or something. Like if it was Captain America and Iron Man or something. No, Spider-Man has nothing to do with the Avengers. He's just teaming up with his hero Captain America, and that's it. Like that's it. So no, there were no 7 Avengers games, especially because most of those 7 is Spider-Man. And you know, he's possibly counting like Captain America and the Avengers and stuff, and that only accounts for like 2 before X-Men got their first shit ass game. But to be fair, all those other games that I mentioned, they're all shit too. They're all absolute shit. But anyways, he goes on to say Marvel had. Oh, okay. Before I continue, all right. Let me get this part out of the way. So motherfucker mentions the Hulk, right? Because he was like, oh well, even if we're not counting Spider Man, which we're not, you bitch. Hulk came out with the game a year later. Okay, so here's the thing. I this is one of the things that I did call him out on because at this time the Hulk had no association whatsoever with the Avengers. He has not been associated with the Avengers since his initial founding back in the mid 60s. Like I think Avengers was like 63, 64, something like that, maybe. Something like that. So, let's just say like mid 60s. And Hulk after founding the Avengers was pretty much gone like an issue or two later. Yeah, I don't remember which exact issue, but yeah, it was like one or two issues later, and he was gone. He was gone completely from the group, and he has had no association with the Avengers for decades, to the point where, especially for me growing up, he was just never associated to the Avengers. He was never marketed with the Avengers. He was always he was either always his own thing, or he was associated to the Defenders, in which he was a founding member of, along with Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, and I believe Namor, and at some point Doctor Doom, even. Hey, Kazan Canine, how's it going? Oh, the eclipse. All right, cool. Um, yeah. Have fun of watching the eclipse. And oh, I also wanted to say sorry about yesterday. Like I had a phone call. It was an important phone call because it was like a friend who she recently moved to Tokyo, and um she called, so I wanted to like talk to her for a bit. And but I was still trying to play to at least give you guys like something to watch. Um but yeah, I guess, and enjoy the eclipse. Damn, you're on a watch stream streak. 3 years. Even though we know you've been on here longer, but it's pretty cool. So, anyways, all right. Um, Back to the shit. So yeah, so the Hulk was, for me growing up, like, yeah, he's had no association to the Avengers at all. All right, thanks, man. You too. Um, but yeah, so this was one of the things that I called him out on, and he just says dumb shit like, "Oh, well, Hulk was the founding member, dummy." Like, no shit, you stupid ass motherfucker. Everyone fucking knows that. What also everyone knows is that he wasn't an Avenger for like fucking 50 years, and he was a founding member of the Defenders, and that he was more of a defender than an Avenger. Like, this motherfucker sounds like he just started reading comic books after the MCU, because the MCU firmly establishes the Hulk as a prominent member of the Avenger, unlike the comics, where he wasn't. He's a founding member, yes. Was he ever really a prominent member? No, he wasn't. And then he goes on to say the next dumbass thing, which is, "Oh, well, you must not know the Avengers tenet of once an Avenger," which is fucking cute and everything. But that has to do with the lore in the comics. That has nothing to do with the business side of things outside of the comics. Because outside of the comics, yeah, once an Avenger's cute and all, but do they treat the Hulk like that matters? No. No. They do not. We've had all these Hulk cartoons or games or whatever, and he has nothing to do with being an Avenger. In fact, like, other Avenger characters barely show up, with the exception of like Iron Man, and that's it. So from there, he proceeds to block me because like he doesn't have anything substantial to say. He has no real argument on the matter. All right, so what's the next dumbass shit? And this is just like the first couple sentences. We haven't gone. He wrote like a huge ass dumbass shit. So anyways, he goes, Marvel had 237 licensed video games before 2008, the start of the MCU. I've never counted, so I wouldn't know. Um 35 of those either were either that he that's what he wrote. He actually wrote 35 of those either were either. So yeah, so 35 of these either were either solely a member of the X-Men, like Wolverine, which by the way is the only X-Men that has a solo game. I mean, which checks. I don't think I don't think any other X-Men has had a has had their own game. But to be fair also, with the exception of Wolverine, um who had like his own solo comics like after the fact. Um yeah, like just other characters have had like solo comics and stuff, but the X-Men as a whole like started as a team. The Avengers didn't. The Avengers were already characters that had established solo comics before they came together. With the exception of Captain America. But he kind of I think he does get like retroactively he does get founding status because it's like he's close enough. He's close enough or something. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. um but for the X-Men, they all started out as a team. And Wolverine was the only character to really break out on his own and be like this huge established character in Marvel in general. And we've had a lot of characters who have had solo comics and things like that, but nowhere near to the success of that Wolverine has had. So, anyways, let's see. 35 of, so he says 35 of those either solo a member of the X-Men, like Wolverine, by the way, is the only X-Men that has solo game, an X-Men team game like X-Men Legends, or a game that was an X-Men and Avengers crossover game like Ultimate Alliance. Um let's see. So what I do want to say about this is I don't know the numbers. Like he probably looked this up in a like Chat GPT or some shit. So I don't know the exact numbers or this is correct or right. Um, so what I do know, as far as X-Men games and Wolverine games go, especially because I'm in the middle of doing a Wolverine run, is so first off, Wolverine does have a few games. Unfortunately, not a whole lot. He only has like a few. Probably just as much as maybe some of the other Avengers characters like Captain America or Iron Man, but actually he might have more than them. But only because none of these guys have had a lot of have had a lot of games. To be honest, because also to be fair, most Marvel characters have not had a lot of games or had a game at all. The only Marvel character that who has had a lot of games consistently since his first game in 1982 has been Spider-Man. That's it. Everyone else, like, you're kind of lucky if you get a game from them, if you get multiple games from them. That's somehow even more lucky. So Wolverine has had a few games under his belt. Without looking off the top of my head, I know he had a shitty game back on the NES by LJN. He had another shitty game on the Sega Genesis, another shitty game on the SNES. You know what? They were all shitty. I don't think there was one good Wolverine game until the X-Men Origins Wolverine game. Um, and then as far as X-Men goes, at least with X-Men, those games have fared much more better over the years. Though we still had a lot of shit ones, but we've had a lot of X-Men games. So off the top of my head, we had that shitty X-Men game for the NES. We had the X-Men arcade game, which was fucking great. Like, definitely one of the best beat 'em ups of that era, of that generation. The Captain America and the Avengers arcade game was pretty cool. I do really like that game, but it does not compare to the X-Men arcade game. Like, not even fucking close. The 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 sprites in the X-Men arcade game are like they're just fucking huge. Music in both games are good, to be fair. They're just different, but I don't know. They're both cool. But the graphics and effects and the audio is just so much better on the X-Men arcade game. And the fact that you can play 6 players and each character has like powers that you can do and stuff. Yeah, it was just a great game. But Captain America and the Avengers was definitely a fun game as well. It's not better than the X-Men arcade game, but it is a really cool game. Like, definitely worth checking out. Anyways, other X-Men games of that era, there were the X-Men games that came out on the Sega Genesis. Those were really good. There was a X-Men game that came out on the SNES made by Capcom. That was really good. Speaking of Capcom, you had the X-Men fighting game, X-Men Children of the Atom, which was fucking great. And little would we know that this would kind of quietly kickstart into Marvel vs. Capcom. So already by the mid 90s, we've already had a good few X-Men games, not so much Avengers games, and quite a few of those X-Men games were pretty good. They were pretty good. As we get down the line, we would have other X-Men games. I don't know. I remember the X-Men Mutant Academy games on PlayStation. Um, we would have X-Men Legends come out, and I wanted to talk about X-Men Legends and X-Men Children of the Atoms specifically. And that's because for because I know this motherfucker is counting other games that Avengers show up in and kind of like giving them credit for that. But some of these games would not happen if it wasn't for the X-Men. And this is what I mean by this. X-Men Children of the Atom. So X-Men Children of the Atom comes out and it's a huge hit. So Capcom, what they wanted to do was they wanted to make a sequel to X-Men Children of the Atom and also make Marvel's superheroes. But for reasons, they just went with Marvel superheroes. So they come out with Marvel superheroes, a game that features two Avengers, Captain America and Iron Man, and that's it. Only the fucking two, because Spider-Man was still not an Avenger, and Hulk still has not rejoined the Avengers. And the other superheroes were Wolverine and Psylocke, who are clearly X-Men characters. So the Avengers, for them to show up in this game, are piggybacking off of the X-Men's success. Because we would not have Marvel superheroes if it were not for X-Men Children of the Atom. But after Marvel superheroes, we get the first big crossover game, and that would be X-Men versus Street Fighter. And this would kick off tag fighting. This game would be a huge fucking hit. And its success would lead to Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter. So once again, Marvel as a whole is piggybacking off of the success of X-Men. Though in this game, the only Avenger you have is Captain America. I'm pretty positive. I'm pretty sure it's only Captain America. I think as far as the rest of the characters goes, or the rest of, or yeah, I think as far as other superheroes goes, there's Captain America, there's Spider-Man, there's Wolverine. I I think that might be it. Damn, is that it for the superheroes? Oh, I think Cyclops is in it, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cyclops, right? I'm pretty sure he was in it. He has to be in it. So yeah, so maybe Cyclops. But I know a lot that game's roster was weird because like a lot of characters from X-Men vs Street Fighter did not make it into that game for some reason, and you didn't have Iron Man in that game. So yeah, so you barely had the Avengers. But then from there we would have Marvel versus Capcom, and then the rest is history. Then we get to X-Men Legends. So X-Men Legends serves as a precursor um to the shit. What were they called? Ultimate Alliance. There you go. To the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. So X-Men Legends is a game made by Activision. Came out for PlayStation 2 and I think the other consoles, Xbox and GameCube, about around early mid 2000s. And that game would be a huge hit and would spawn a sequel, X-Men Legends 2. And then from there, they would pretty much pull the Capcom and now make an overall like Marvel game. And they would make Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Ultimate Alliance 2, and then fucking years and years and years later, Ultimate Alliance 3. But once again, the Marvel Universe is piggybacking off of the success of X-Men, because we would not have Ultimate Alliance if we didn't have two successful ass X-Men Legends games. So by this time, we have a bunch of X-Men games and Avengers as a whole, as titled Avengers games. Like we only had like a couple. And while X-Men Children of Atom was going on, and even Marvel Superheroes, we had another Avengers game, fighting game called Avengers Galactic Storm. And that yeah, that game sucked. That game was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible, just awful ass game. Just just fucking awful. Okay, so other than that, yeah, Avengers as characters would show up in other games, even like as Avengers, like in the Ultimate Alliance games or something, but there were no Avengers games because let's be honest, even to this day, making an Avengers game just is not marketable enough. It just isn't. Let's see. Then he goes, that's just under 15% of the games. By comparison, members of the Avengers, and I won't even count Spider Man, the Fantastic Four, or fringe kind of members of the Avengers. I mean, why would you? They're not Avengers. The Avengers got 24. The crossovers would still count here. So yeah, so he's counting. So he has to count games that the Avengers are in because the Avengers just are not marketable enough to be on their own. So he has to count the crossover games, even though other people show up in those same crossover games. But whatever. Spider-Man got 26 all by himself. Okay, so this is where I know for a fact things get kind of dicey here. So when he says Spider-Man got 26, I don't know what the criteria is based on exactly. It is possible that there's 26 Spider-Man games, like 26 Spider-Man games that are all of their own titles. So there's 26 different titled Spider-Man games. But each of those Spider-Man games, like let's say for example the Spider-Man 2 game that came out back around PlayStation 2 era. So it's quite possible that the number that he's getting that from takes Spider-Man 2 and its many ports and just puts it under like one thing, like just under the one title. Even though in regards to Spider-Man 2, some of those ports are completely different games. Yeah, they might share the same title, but they may play completely different than each other. So, of course, we all know how Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 and such plays. Like, it's the first open world Spider-Man game and all that. But what if you play the game on the PSP? Well, it becomes a completely different game. In fact, the PSP version of the game, which I actually liked, is more of a direct sequel to Spider-Man 1. And it plays in that style. There's no open world. It's straight up just level design, like in the previous Spider-Man games. Which includes Spider-Man 1. So I count these as as their own games because they don't play alike at all. They don't follow the same even if they follow a little bit of the same story, but it's not the same structure. So for me, who has done a Spider-Man run a few years ago, his games are closer to like 40 something. But also, I know he's counting Spider-Man as a fucking Avenger though. So anyways, yeah, so he goes Spider-Man got 26 all by himself. I that's kind of it's not really. But anyways, Fantastic Four had 6. I also counted the only so he counts the Silver Surfer game as a Fantastic Four as if like Silver Surfer isn't his own fucking character. So like what, do you count Black Panther as a fucking Fantastic Four character? Or Adam Warlock as a fucking Fantastic Four character? The Scrolls as Fantastic Four character, like Doctor Doom as like just because like they fucking debuted or showed up in Fantastic Four does not mean that they're solely Fantastic Four characters. Silver Surfer is his own motherfucker. He has association to Fantastic Four, but yeah, especially since his one fucking game has nothing to do with Fantastic Four. Anyways, Fantastic Four had 6 because he counts Silver Surfer. The only Fantastic Four games I could think of, I remember there was one that came out on PS1, and then there's the 2 movie games, and then I don't remember what else. I don't remember what else, but they all sucked, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, so he goes. So if I counted them as Avengers, that's 55 games. Why? But why would you though? Why? Why would you? And he goes, I'm still leaving out the Punisher. Yeah, because he's not fucking Avenger. Howard the Duck. Yeah, he's not a fucking Avenger. Ghost Rider, Blade, Electra, Daredevil. I also left out games like Puzzle Quests, trading card games, and things like pinball games and Marvel themed skins. Why are we counting skins now? So yes, the Avengers were right there with the X-Men. The Avengers didn't even have their own console game for the MCU. LOL. Claim you made is just you not knowing shit about fuck. Like, dude, you were already wrong in the first 2 fucking sentences of your stupid fucking Steiner math rant that you went with. And to fucking make an argument about this shit, like you had to take the Avengers, who barely had their own Avenger titled fucking games, and you had to take their like individual games as their own characters. You had to fucking you know you had to take Spider-Man, put him into to the mix. You put the fucking Hulk into the mix, and you had to do this retroactively. So first off, yeah, the math ain't mathin', as the kids say. And which is correct. That's one thing he is correct, that the Avengers didn't have their own console games for the MCU. It's I mean, he was right to call that part out because Avengers did have their own console game. They did. They had Captain America and the Avengers. Before the MCU, they had Captain America and the Avengers, 2 of them. because I count the NES one as its own game. And they had Avengers Galactic Storm, which we don't really talk about. But then after that, we don't have an Avengers game until the Wii U one, and I think by then we've had the MCU. I think by then we've yeah by the Wii U, I think we got yeah. I really don't know when that game comes out. I don't care when that game came out, but it is. But since it's for the Wii U, it has to be around the time that we had MCU. So let me take a look at my list again. Hold on, I gotta go. I gotta go all the way to the fucking. Okay, here we go. So yeah, yeah. So by the time we get to the MCU, I believe that's when we got Avengers: Battle for Earth for the Wii U. So with that being said, yeah. So these are the facts. I don't consider individual characters as an Avenger game. Like Captain America had a game on the 360 based off of the first movie. And that had for sure nothing to do with the Avengers because that was while he was still fighting in World War II. So for sure that had nothing to do with the Avengers. Despite the fact that this would lead to him becoming an Avenger, but that game particularly, like, yeah, no, it had nothing to do with the Avengers. So for sure, I don't count games like that as Avengers games. I count that as Captain America games. What I count as Avengers games is games that are Avengered titled. Because that's how I built my run. When I decided to do an Avengers run, I just took all the Avengers titled games. I did not take all the games that a fucking Avenger happens to show up in or happens to have their own game in because it's not an actual Avengers game. What an Avenger game is if it is fucking called the Avengers. If the Avengers are in the goddamn fucking title, it's an Avengers game. In which to this day, there's only been 7 of them. Even though the Avengers they show up in a lot of other games, characters of the Avengers show up in a lot of other games, but they are not Avengers games. And those same games also have non Avengers people in them, also have X-Men in them, and other sort of characters and teams and such, like Fantastic Four and whatnot, and Defenders. So yeah, I just thought this was funny and amusing to me. But anyways, yeah. So I think I wasted enough time talking about this dumbass hoe bitch. Let's get started on some Marvel Tokon. So give me a moment. Let me get myself situated. And all right. So I think I'm gonna start a story mode. I want to. I really want to, but if I start now, I won't be done until almost like 2 in the morning. And that's unacceptable because I need to go to bed. So I think what I'm gonna do is, and I'm already feeling tired. So I'm going to just
Arcade and tutorial. We've got a high profile.
all right. So we're gonna fuck around. Cool. I got Wolverine.
If you're scared, that's just
Ah, this is funny.
smarter than I thought.
All considering, but anyways, all right. So
What are you thinking?
all right. Let's just fuck around for a bit.
We can end this. We'll prevail. Can't stop it. On my mark. This is it. Let's go. Pass out whatever, bub. Take it. Time for action. Weapon X, say your prayers. The Avengers were never my style, Cap. I'll always be an X-Man, through and through. Take that. All right. Take that. Okay. Getting started.
I can get this air combo working, but oh, there we go. Okay, let me
Gotcha.
do that.
Not today. Okay, I'll come to you. All right.
What can I do to extend this combo? Check out his moves.
X-Force. X marks the spot. X marks the spot. X marks the spot. Okay. Here I come. I'm not done. Weapon X. All right.
some I want to try.
Barrel shred. Take it. Come with me. I'm not done. Going out. I'm not done. There. Like barrel shred. Come with me. Mark the spot. Barrel shred. Mark the spot. Going out. Come with me. Barrel shred. Going out. Freedom charge. All right. Barrel shred. Let's go for a ride. Not working. Barrel shred. Justice.
Okay, so he can't do this twice in a row, like he can off the ground.
Barrel shred. Here we go. Barrel shred. All right. Going out. Come with me.
Yeah. He can't do it twice in the air, but he can off the ground.
What's wrong? Keeping a distance? Yeah, going out. Not working. Yeah, let's go for a ride. Time for action. Come with me. Getting started. Take it. Not working. You like that? All right. You like that? Ready? Let's do this.
I mean, have to do this.
You're mine. You like that? Take it. Are you trying to make me feel sorry? Ready? Let's do this! Getting started.
I think what might be a good idea is if I do this. Okay, but then he does that. So
Not working. I'm not done. Here I come. Eviscerate. Are you trying to make me feel sorry for you? Take this. Eviscerate. All right. Eviscerate. Eviscerate. Okay. Eviscerate.
huh. He's not hitting him with the wall anymore.
Getting started.
Okay.
Eviscerate.
I don't know why why it's not hanging into the wall anymore. Huh. Okay. Whatever. Oh, maybe it's because I'm doing the X version. Oh, I don't know why it's not hanging into the wall anymore.
Getting started.
Alright, that's okay. I should make combos where I'm not dependent on the wall anyways. Alright, so I gotta figure out how to extend that combo. Okay, so I know I can do that. Oops, let me switch Captain America. We did that time.
Getting started.
Wait a minute. Oh. So if I just do down and back square, he just does that. If I do down back square and then hit X again, he does an extra move.
Not working. I'm not done.
Wow.
What's
Okay.
wrong? Keeping a distance?
Can I do anything about that when he pops up like that? I try to chase, but it didn't work. Okay. What if I do?
Marks the spot. What's wrong? Keeping a distance? If you're waiting for me to come,
Okay, you can do the special in the air. Alright, so what if...
ready? Let's do this!
Nice. Okay.
Look out! The Avengers
No, I didn't mean to
remember
do
my
that.
style, Cap.
I tried to do something else.
I'll always be an X-Man, through and through. Take this. X marks the spot. Say bye. Say bye, Earl. Shred. Cut you into pieces.
Alright, I didn't mean to EX that much. I just wanted to EX the one time. Can he do his ultimate in the air? No, I can't.
What are you thinking?
Alright, what other stuff can I do? Should I figure out how to extend regular combos? I'm trying to do as much as I can without being dependent on the assists. can I do there? But again, I shouldn't be too dependent on the wall, but I should have plans for when characters are on the wall like that.
If you're scared, that shows you're smarter than I thought. Cut you into pieces! Here I come! Ready? Let's do this!
What's wrong? Keeping a distance?
There!
Alright.
Take it! Eviscerate! Take this! Over out! Take this! Eviscerate! Ready? Let's do this! Eviscerate! Eviscerate! Take it!
Yeah, no. I don't know how I comboed that before.
Cut you into pieces!
Undergoing backup support.
Here I go.
Supporting.
Time
It's not gonna
Joining up. Supporting.
take it! Cut you into pieces!
Undergoing backup support. Joining up.
I'm not done.
Undergoing backup support.
I'm here.
You're mine!
Supporting.
Here for support.
Ready? Let's do this!
Joining up.
Here I go.
Cut you into pieces! You're mine! X marks the spot! Come with me, ready? Let's do this! Take this!
Supporting.
Here for support.
Here. Leave it to me.
Are you trying to make me feel sorry for you?
Oh, what do I have to do now?
Joining up.
Not working.
Supporting.
Okay.
Undergoing backup support.
Not working. Here I go.
Joining up.
Time for action!
Supporting.
Not being do any of that.
Undergoing backup support. Supporting. Undergoing backup support. Supporting. Undergoing backup support.
Here I go.
Alright, ready? Let's do this!
keep forgetting to fucking get the extra attack.
Doing that.
Nah, fucker.
Supporting.
I'm here.
Fred, cut you into pieces!
That's what I want to try to do.
What's wrong? Keeping a distance?
Select your characters. Spider-Man.
Did they have greed in this suit?
Spider-Man.
Oh, it's just the lighting. I think it's weird.
Carnage. Captain America. Iron Man.
Oh, shit.
Wolverine.
How did I unlock the 5th fucking color? Oh, maybe when I beat their story mode.
Loki.
Yeah, it's probably when I beat their story mode.
Hulk. Storm. Magic. Ms. Marvel. Star-Lord. Penny Parker. Ghost Rider. Get ready.
Neighborhood Spider-Verse? I mean, hardly, but okay.
Get ready.
Not very geniuses.
Let's go! Everyone! Gotcha! I'm famously responsible for your spider sense. Catch! My spider skills include this and this and this and this. Oh, and also this. Hold still, please. Dude, let me show you my special move. It's called beating up supervillains. It's pretty literal.
And then how do I web it? I think that's gonna be really important for him.
Spider boot! Look at this!
To show fear of doom.
Got me. Boom incoming. Get ready. Dude, let me show you my special move. It's called beating up supervillains. It's pretty literal.
Can't web zip diagonally?
Are you waiting for me to bow?
To show
Oh. He just did. Alright. Okay, I have to web zip forward. Alright. Wait, can he web zip up?
to show fear of doom is true wisdom.
Oh. With the web zip, I can extend the combo. Kinda.
That won't work.
Okay, let's just do this.
Oops, well that was a mistake.
Didn't mean to do that. Got to practice that combo with Wolverine
Are
though.
you waiting for me to bow or genuflect or something, dude?
Try to web zip. Oh, that's right.
Spider boot!
Can you not web zip after? Take some time. Yeah. I think it takes too much time. Yeah. just drops it though.
To show fear of doom is true wisdom.
Spider shoot! Look at this! Gotcha! Spider shoot! Gotcha! Eat wet! Gotcha! Have you? There you are! Eat wet! Have you? Gotcha! Spider shoot!
Leave it to me.
Catch! Delivery! Are you waiting for me to bow or genuflect or something, dude?
I figure out how to extend that shit. This goes.
Here I go! Nailed it! Damn you!
Okay.
Are you waiting for me to bow or genuflect or something, dude?
To show fear of doom is true wisdom.
Are you waiting for me to bow or genuflect or
doom.
something, dude?
And perhaps I may suffer.
Trying to figure out what I can do. But might not be much for me to do. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I can't think of it right now. It's late. I'm tired.
Are you waiting for me to bow or genuflect or something? Boom incoming!
suffer you to live.
Why is it not switching?
Are you
Oh, I pressed the wrong button, that's why.
Sure you planning for something, Dean? That's gonna hurt. How's this? Leave it to me. Copy. Now, freedom charge. Now the gloves come off. Okay, I'll come to you. You got it. Shield strike. Help's on the way. On it. Leave it to me.
I guess I can't do bloodbath in the air. Nah. So not everyone can do their special in the air. Can't hit that? Okay, I was doing that combo yesterday. I don't know what's going on.
Heed doom, and perhaps
That was a much easier combo. Need damage with.
On it. You got it. Leave it to me. Got it. Leave it to me. All right.
Any of that?
Leave it to me. Got me. You got it.
Huh. That's a cool combo. Let's do that one more time. And I'm gonna call it a night.
Leave it to me. Help's on the way.
Because I'm more in that combo.
Got me. On it. Leave it to me.
That won't work.
Ah, you bitch.
Got me. On it. Leave it to me.
See, I don't know why the timing is like so weird.
Got me. You got it. On it. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. On it. Help's on the way.
I fucked up.
Leave it to me. Got me. On it. Leave it to me. You got it.
Ah, you get too late.
Got me. Leave it to me.
That won't work.
Leave it to me.
Alright, fuck it. Alright. So yeah, so I'm gonna stop here. For now, it's likely I won't be signing again until next week. When after I come back from my trip with my family, my dad and stepmom are visiting me in Japan, so that's gonna be cool. So yeah, so it's gonna be it for about a week. All right, so have a good night or whatever, and hopefully see you next time. Later.